When you told me you had a G-Wagon, it was rare, it was one of 300 with the portals, we're like, absolutely, we'll get out a Sawzall and some duct tape and we'll take it out.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got an early start this morning at 6 a.m. We've got the Mercedes G550 4x4 squared loaded up on the trailer. This place down south of us is going to chop the rear, extend the back seat, and kind of give us some frame rails and extend the wheelbase as well, so that we can put one of our new utility beds on top like we just did on the Ram 5500. So this is going to be just an absolute beast of a truck, and excited to have you come along with us and see what this thing's all about. Good morning. Ready to build your dream truck?
Heck yeah. Early morning, get her done. I couldn't sleep. I was so excited.
All right, so we've just got one quick stop on the way. We're just picking up from this company, All Steel Fabrications. We're just picking up the frame extensions. So the place that we're taking this to get this done is called Mega X2 is the company we're taking it to, and we'll obviously show you a lot more once we're down there. But this is the company that they have do just the frame extensions. So once they chop off the rear end of this, and then it's just a bare frame, we're obviously moving the wheelbase back, which means you need a slightly longer frame. So this is just the steel extensions that'll give you a little bit more room so that we have something to put that bed on. All right, next stop, Mega X.
It's not right?
It's not right.
Wouldn't it be a lot better if it was stretched?
Stretched, longer.
Yes.
Something.
And what if we put one of those beds on it?
One of those beds. I think that's the greatest idea you guys had so far. So guys, we're here at MX2. We've got Judd from Adrenaline Industries and his son Cole. And we've got my son Mike here. And we've got our next SEMA project that just rolled in today. And well, let's get this thing unloaded then, and
we're hoping
get the plane.
A little bit smaller version of that bed, hopefully, is going to be on the back of that here in a couple months.
Not hopefully, it will be. It will be. There's no question about it, guys.
But
so my understanding is what you've told us is you want to go basically to 137.3, right? On the wheelbase, the same thing as a Gladiator?
And I'll let you kind of like,
massage it?
Because I think at a minimum we want 24 inches.
24 inches behind the cab.
We can show you.
All right, guys, so we made it here to Mega X2. These guys are some awesome guys. We're really excited to see what they're going to be able to do with this thing. So we're going to kind of get this rig unloaded, walk around their shop, see some of their other builds, and then walk you through the process of what we expect to see happen with this G squared and take you along for that. So yeah, this should be really cool. We're excited to have this thing done.
What I wanted to show you guys here, this is what's called the Lava Monster. I was building the Icelandic 6-door excursions with the Axletex portals and all that garbage on them. And they came to me one day and they says, hey, we could really use a 6-door Jeep over here. And then this one's got the air suspension on it.
And they're using this for glacier travel?
Oh, they did, but it was so much fun I wouldn't sell it to them.
Yeah. Dude, that's fast too.
That lifts fast, so fast.
Now these are a 2-stage air system. They got a cone on the bottom of them, so it's like a 2-stage air spring. So I'm up really high, I can go through the dunes with almost 2 foot of travel, just blow your mind. When you get down lower, it gets a tighter setting on that spring rate. On the road, it's almost too much, and it's got an internal bump stop on it. So that eliminates any bump stops that you need on these. Dan Mick wanted a bunch from Moab.
Yeah, I could see Dan on these for sure for his tours. That's
so this
cool.
started out its life as a 2022 JLU 392. And I think Jeep on that 392 with the 392, the 8-speed, had just nailed it. I mean, perfect driving vehicle, 18 miles a gallon, 80 miles an hour, and all the horsepower in the world. Now, I had a son, and I built a lot of 6-door 392s. My son says, no, you got to do a JT. And to me, the JTs are ugly. That back door should have been squared up, you know, and then it's got that tire under there, and it just looks terrible. So the only way that I could make it look good was make it a 6x6, but they've done 6x6s. And then I got thinking is, why don't we do an 8x8 based upon the heavy-duty wreckers? You know, the big 4-axle Kenworth wreckers? Yes. So this is called the MX2 Heavy, because this is our heavy-duty wrecker. So if I fire this one up, this one has maybe 1,500 miles on it.
So is this an updated version of the suspension that we just saw in your other Jeep?
Well, it is a culmination of all our years of airbag technology and suspension. It's with locked triple bypass shocks. It's with Summit Racing 3.5-inch solid aluminum arms. And there was a challenge thrown down by Matt's Off-Road and Heavy D to build the ultimate off-road wrecker. Now, I've done stuff on Axle Techs earlier than they have. You know, they're 9-ton axles, they're very heavy, and you need some flotation. So on this one, we decided to build the ultimate wrecker. We're going with 14 bolts. You know, we build everything. We kind of overbuild it, over-engineer it. We don't like to break anything. But still, this has more flotation than any of the other recovery rigs on the sand. I mean, it was quite amazing. The record names were second to hook on or third, and we're the only ones to hook onto 2 vehicles. And this was pulling so well, they were dragging brakes on both vehicles as we were pulling down.
So many times I've been on something so tippy and your center of gravity's up high. If you could drop that inside or the upside on there, level it out, you'd be so much more stable off-road. That's impressive. How long did it take you to build this?
We built it in 2 different sections. I made the JT pickup out of it, and that probably took 2 months. And then we've been working on and off of it for another 7 months. I mean, there's...
Does it have rear steer?
Yes.
I just realized.
Yes.
I just saw the Rams right here. I'm like, wait a second.
So yeah, this is 8-wheel drive, 8-wheel steering. You know, 8 tires, so an 8x8x8.
If there was any doubt before, which I don't think there was, I'm pretty sure he can chop a G-Wagon.
Yeah. I think you can upgrade our suspension and everything.
We were thinking like, oh, this is going to be quite the task. Who can do it? Yeah, I don't think we'll have any issues.
No, and here's the funny part is I actually built the Mega Ram Runner for Dave Sparks and Diesel Dave. You know, I'm the one who kind of got him to start in the business. And they threw down the challenge to build the most capable trail-ready off-road, you know, wrecker. And I accepted it. And Diesel Dave, which is Dave Kiley, love him, comes up to me and says, you know, Steve, we threw down the challenge. We moved ours into the shop and looked at it for several months, yet you went out and actually did it. So, you know, that's how we are at MX2 is we turn down probably 70 builds a month that just aren't interesting. When you told me you had a G-Wagon, it was rare. It was what, 1 of 200 with the portals?
1 of 300.
1 of 300 with the portals. We're like, absolutely. We'll get out a Sawzall and some duct tape and we'll take care of it.
And like I said, my TRX, which we've done a lot of off-roading on that, and we're going to have better ground clearance in that because of the portals, but also our bed is going to angle in the back.
Right.
For the departure angle is going to be better, the way we custom build our bed. And so a TRX's wheelbase is 145.
Right.
So I'm thinking somewhere between that 137 up to 145, depending on, you know, because we still want to kind of do a 5-foot bed.
Right.
So it's somewhat practical off the back of it too. And that's what's so great is like, if you guys want to see this, like in the back here, there's no leg room. Like that seat's where I want it for the front. And just in these And these normal edition G-Wagons, there's just no rear seat. So the other cool thing of us stretching this is we're going to be able to move that seat back 6 inches and almost make it like a mega cab that Ram builds.
Yeah.
Is to be able to have this lot more leg room so you can have 4 adults in here really comfortably.
You know, I think that's the idea, is it can be the mega cab G-Wagon with the Expedition bed on it, ready to go with portals.
It's the ultimate vehicle. Like you could daily drive it, it's going to go down the highway. These drive so great, and now by stretching it,
Right.
be better. The suspension on this, these drive so much better than the standard G-Wagon, just because of the portals and the suspension that's
Right.
on these. These G-Squareds ride so much better, and they don't have that kind of body roll that G-Wagons have. It's just a better setup. So now we extend the wheelbase, everything's going to be amplified even better.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So while they're doing that, why don't you explain why this is even in your brain? Why is this even in existence?
I don't know if I can explain why anything's in my brain. That's a crazy thing, but I've always loved Mercedes. I've had Unimogs for nearly 20 years, and Unimogs, they have the pickup, but they're not great daily drivers. I mean, they're massive. They don't go fast. I mean, we've modified them, try and make all that so they are a lot better than normal, but at the end of the day, they still don't drive like a G-Wagon. I've always loved G-Wagons. But you don't fit in some of them well. The back seats are miserable. So for a daily driver, for your family or for adults, they don't fit in the back. And then also, I switched to an SUV. I had, for my daily driver, I drove a Trackhawk for a while. Loved the horsepower, but I still missed a pickup. So now I'm like, well, if I can take a G-Wagon, which is my favorite vehicle, and make it a pickup, it becomes the ultimate vehicle for me for a daily driver. So this is, when I'm done, this will be my daily driver. Like, I'm excited to have this to drive. To me, it's the ultimate vehicles. I get everything I like in a G-Wagon, but I get the better version being the G-Squared, being portal axle, better suspension, and then having a longer wheelbase. It's going to track better down the highway, and then having that 5-foot utility bed on it that you can put all this stuff in. And we're going to do some extra stuff like add central tire inflation. It's going to be the ultimate vehicle, in my opinion.
Sid, I think that's quite interesting that, you know, this is a G-Squared, we're MX Squared. Because we started building mega cabs, and our acronyms were MX2. And so it's actually MX Squared, but most people don't get that, because we take everything and go to the next level. Now, what I love about this build, Judd, this is something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, and this is something you're building the ultimate for you. You know, when we build a lot of our rigs for most people, they never sell them, they keep them, they hand them down. So MX Squared, MX2 is happy to partner with you on this build, Judd, and I'm looking forward to building you the most badass daily driver G-Squared wagon on the planet.
And there's nobody better in the world to do it than you guys.
No,
I knew it. By
we're
the
the
time we
originals.
finally touched base, we were trying to get hold of each other for a minute. We finally touched base. I'm like, these are the guys. I've reached out to a lot of people all over the country.
Yeah.
And here we are. I mean, it was a 3.5 hour drive. That's how close we are to each other. Both in Utah. We believe the best state for off-roading, for outdoors.
Oh,
there's not a better place in the world. So to be able to partner on this, I'm so glad we connected. It's going to be so fun.
Judd. Looking forward
Terrific.
to it.
Not to mention that every other company that we talked to kind of had some questions. They're like, we could probably do it. It's a little risky. I don't know if we're capable of something like that. We talked to Steve 5 minutes. He's like, oh, easy. Any concern we could think of, oh, easy. All right, I'm glad I came along today. That made me even more excited to see how that thing turns out. I'm pretty confident that they could do anything that we could ever dream up.
Yeah, it would probably be bad if we got Steve and Casey together. What those two could build together. I mean, that's what we're doing. Casey's going to be engineering part of this thing. Steve is. Those two guys could build the coolest vehicles in the whole world.
So this will just be part 1 of that. Luckily, they're going to video a lot of it for us, so we'll get some clips of it being cut, and we'll do a whole part 2 to this that shows the whole conversion process of this. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you for part 2.